Yep, I recognize you. I might wait till a couple more people show up. Or we get started on making unicorn. I'll go ahead and start. Alright, so I'm going to be making one of my unicorn characters, Cashmere. I actually designed her specifically to make a model out of her eventually, so... Actually... this direction, because that'll make mirroring it easier. Never seen anyone 3D model anything before? You're invested? Oh, my method of modeling is a little bit kind of scuff. This is just kind of like how I find it easiest. But I haven't seen a lot of people like, you know, model the way I do. I tend to start with just a bunch of cubes, a very extremely like low poly version of the model. And then just kind of build it up from there a bit. Yeah, I just find it easier to kind of like edit the proportions and stuff doing it this way. Alright, one of the characters you commissioned me before was literally just a cube. Yep, that worked with my workflow pretty well. Kept making him sit down because his little legs would clip through his cube body. Yeah, Second Life doesn't play well with characters with like abnormal body shapes. It can result in some really weird stuff. Oh, tiny square on the butt for the tail. Yeah, it's gonna take a while till this actually starts looking like an actual unicorn. For now, it's just gonna be very cubular. Let's see, her tail's pretty long. Gotta slice the model in half and mirror it. Bloop. There we go. Now make the head a little bit more head-shaped. Man, my foot hurts. I stubbed my toe like right before the stream. So my toe is just like throbbing. Let's see, this part's a bit too big. Her shoulders are not that thick. Let's try like this instead. Let's see, how do shoulders work? There we go. That looks good. Enough. Hi, Sparkle. It's a bit too long. Her legs are not that long and leggy. She's got kind of like a built-in bell-bottom jean legs. Yeah, her stance is looking a little weird right now, but I promise it'll, like, correct itself later. Or I'll correct it, rather. Those are a bit too long, I think. Yeah, making it low poly like this really, like, makes it a lot easier to kind of correct proportions like that. So I could just, you know, grab a singular cube, move it around, and totally change what the proportions look like. And let's give her dainty little hoopsies. Cloven or non-cloven? Cloven, because I think it looks fancy. Get that back leg. Cloven hooves are fancy, yes they are. I'll get her back in bell bottoms. Try and make them about the same size as the front ones. So maybe the front ones need to be a bit smaller. Although, when I add the subdivision thingy to make it more high poly, it'll like kind of shrink them a little bit. Yeah, there we go. It's kind of poodle looking right now because of the way the legs are. I can't tell if the legs are too long or if the body's too short. She does have pretty long legs, but this might be, I don't know. Try lengthening the body a little bit because I think it is a bit too short. Yeah, it helped. Give her a bit more booty. The booty is an essential part, of course. No, that gave it a weird look. Is that Nights you hear in the background? Yes, it is. It's my favorite like track from the Nights soundtrack. And move her neck forward a bit. It's too short though, I wish it was longer. Making the head more head-shaped. Snoot. Is that too long? I don't think so. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, it's about good. Let's add her ears. Just from my dog grumble. I don't know if the mic picked that up. She's sleeping directly underneath my chair, basically. It is her favorite spot to rest. Let's see. I think this will make it have the shape that I want, probably. I don't think I need it to go all the way around the back like that. There we go. Yep, that seems right. Oh, hi Jade. She just kind of like shoved her way past my leg. Now, what are you doing over there? You wrecking stuff? Huh? Nope, shake. I think her head's a bit too small. The unicorn's not my dog's. Yeah, it's better. And let's see. Move this inward a little bit so she's not all like wide stanced. Yep, it looks good. Right, time for the back legs. Shape the booty. I guess these are kind of like more thigh-ish. She's bald right now because I'm gonna like add the hair as a separate object and then just kind of join them together later. Because the hair is asymmetrical, but she is, like, her body is symmetrical. It's just easier to do symmetrical stuff and then tack the asymmetrical stuff on top of it. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that looks cashmere shaped. I think her snoot could be a little thinner though. Those thin line unicorn tails, yes, those are my favorite things to give unicorns. Again, like the cloven hooves, it just looks nice and fancy. Sets it apart from horse with a horn, yeah. The head's looking a bit square. I think your tail's a bit too short. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I think so. Alright. Now whenever I apply the subdivision like modifier before the mirror modifier, it always likes makes the edges, like the seam between the mirrored parts, all like pointy. I just need to go through and kind of smooth those out a bit. It looks like it didn't get pointified in this part too bad. Yeah, since I'm not really making this model for anything, I can just make it, you know, as high poly as I want it to be. No consequences. But still, I prefer to keep things kind of low poly looking, because I just like the aesthetic. Accentuate the booty. It's still a bit pointy. Low poly is cute. It is very cute. Oops. Just going through and kind of cleaning up the wibbliness that the sub-surf modifier kind of added. Because it kind of softens any kind of harsh edges that you tried to have, so you need to go back and resharp them. You left a can of Arizona tea open on your nightstand for a week and now it tastes bad. Why would you drink it if it's been there for a week? You're gonna give yourself some kind of, like, tea poisoning. You don't know. I'm sure tea poisoning is a thing that can happen. You're gonna Google it. Okay, so tea poisoning might not be an actual thing, but you never know. Give her a little tiny calf. Swirly horn, a straight horn. Curved horn. A straight curved horn. It grows bacteria and mold if you leave it out? Yes, of course it does! Yeah, those are fun, not the mold, the horn. Actually, I kind of forgot to give that to her until just now. So let's give her a horn. Yeah, 12 vertices is good. That's why you brought it up, because I forgot it. Wondering if I was doing a curly horn because I'd explaining not being mirrored in the thing. Yeah. Yeah, curly horns are hard to model. I've tried it like once and I kind of gave up. Actually, no, I did make a curly horn for Dawn of Eternity, didn't I? Yeah, it's in the game now. When in doubt, cheat it with bump maps and textures, yeah. Although, texturing a curly horn is actually way harder than modeling it, because that was like, I tried to do that first, and just could not figure it out, how to, like, get a curled, like, line texture, for some reason. Let's see, is that curved enough? Yeah. Oh, it's supposed to be a little skinnier at the base, I think. Oh, that might be a little too harsh. Yeah, that looks good. Time to jam it into her forehead. There we go. Let's make this earlobe a little more lobey. Oops, that's too big. And there we go. Now let's actually kind of position the ears right so they don't just like, they're not just like floating above her head. And part of the head still looks a bit too square. I think it's just kind of this area back here. I think this whole part here could be moved forward a bit, maybe? Or maybe this whole part, like here, needs to be moved back. Yeah, I think that's probably a bit more like it. Yeah, it looks better. I think now that I look at it, her legs are a bit too long. Like in this area. Yeah, it looks better. Not a huge difference, but... Actually, I think her tail's a bit too thick. It's supposed to be kind of more slendery. Now it just kind of looks like a toothpick. Is it still too short? I think it's fine. I'll define your snoot a little bit. Sure, an arson broke the Easter Island heads. No, I didn't. Huh. That's weird. It sounds like the setup for a joke or something. You'd think, but no. You know, Splatoon fans are cracking jokes. Oh yeah, because that one Easter Island had level in Splatoon 3, right? I think that game has a ton. You can even put them in your locker. I haven't actually played it. I've only watched like playthroughs, and I only remember seeing it once. So yeah. Man, this part looks a little weird. Shoulders are strange. Yeah, it looks weird from the front too. Shoulders, man. Shoulders are weird. If I get rid of this right here. Now earlier today I was thinking, and I had, you know, kind of this like old memory from high school just come back to me for some reason. And it was like, it was a group project assignment sort of thing that was like for just that class period. We were all given these little ping pong balls with faces drawn on them. And we had to create a sort of like vehicle of sorts to get the ping pong ball to somehow be transported down the hallway, and whoever got theirs down the hallway like as far as possible won. And like one group made like a little kind of airplane for their little ping pong ball person. That it didn't really get very far. I mean, they threw it and it just kind of like nosedived immediately. And another group made like a little sled for theirs. So, and that one actually I think got like second place. They just kind of slid it across the hallway floor. But my group won. Because my group did not make a normal vehicle to, you know, like have the little ping pong ball person ride in. My group made a catapult. So we launched the little ping pong ball, like, down the hallway. And our teacher was like, well, you won, but your person is dead. I don't know why that just kind of, like, came back to me suddenly this morning, but yeah. And I remember, like, the reason that we went with a catapult, like, instead of just a normal vehicle like everybody else was doing, was because we thought it'd be funny. I don't think we're even expecting to win. You won, but you died. Hey, we were fine, you know. There was a casualty, but... You missed me murdering a ping pong ball person when I was in high school. But it was to win, like, a class competition, so, you know. And we catapulted them down the hallway, and everybody else just made little, like, sleds and planes for them to fly in. We had to get them as far down the hallway as we could, and so we launched them. And this shoulder still looks weird to me, and I can't figure out why. Why are shoulders so strange? I think it's, like, sticking out a bit too far up here. I mean, it works. Yeah, it did. We won. I don't remember if there was, like, an actual prize for winning. I don't think there was. It was sacrificed for no reason. I think it should probably be a little bigger on top instead of the bottom. Yeah, that already looks better. Right, the stance in the back is a bit too wide still. The ping pong ball was like a little person, you know, quote unquote person that we had to transport. They had a little, like, face drawn on in Sharpie. At least I'm pretty sure it was a ping pong ball. This was like 15 years ago, so it could have been an egg. I don't think it was an egg, because I don't think they would have let us just catapult an egg down a hallway and deal with, like, you know, the smashed egg afterwards. So I'm pretty sure it was a ping pong ball. You didn't hear the whole story, you just heard me saying there was a casualty. He bounced, he was fine. Speaking of eggs, you're eating some right now. Nice. I forgot to log out of Steam. It's a bit too far down. Blender's on Steam? I did not know there was Blender on Steam. It's strange. I think her body is done. Just work on our hair. I think I might have been, you know, putting off the hair because I don't like doing hair. You gotta practice, I know. I don't wanna. Actually, your neck looks a bit skinny from that angle, from the front. So I'm gonna thicken up her neck a little bit. And there we go. Yeah, she looks very bald. Alright, time to add the hair. Alright, now what's the best way to do this? Do I want to cube it, or do I just want to like go in with cylinder, or not cylinder, circles and extrude from there? Actually, I think her horn needs to be a bit further down on her head. There's nowhere to put their hair right now. Cube! Yes. Okay. Cube. Actually, I think I'm gonna, like, do circles. Alright. Cursed hair. Why do things have to have hair? Actually, her original design was bald, but I'm like, that looks kind of weird. So I begrudgingly gave her a head of hair. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Everyone should just be bald, yes. Only people with bald characters should commission me. There's you giving your OC fluff, yes. I also give my OCs lots of fluff. And then I don't want to make models of any of them. I made this one specifically to, like, you know, make a 3D model of, so I, you know, gave her a bunch of very simplified floof. There we go. That's good enough. Does that look hair-like? It's a bit kind of flat in places. Try to bring it up here a bit. I think it's fine for cartoony hair, though it's weird. Though it's attaching weird at the top of the head, yeah. I think I want to make this part a little bit. It's kind of just how it looks on a reference, but how am I gonna make it go around her ear? I'm just gonna make it go through her ear. Yeah, I didn't really care that much. I just make it go through her ear. No, it's hair. It can do that. Your hair faces through your ears all the time? Yeah, exactly. It's not strange. It's normal. Eh? That was weird. I accidentally extruded, like, the stuff around the hair. Or around the center. Move it over here so it's a bit more close with that hair. I like purposefully gave her easy to model hair and I'm still having trouble with it. And it looks all kinds of wonky. Oof. Man, why is hair so hard? I mean, hair is very soft, but it's hard to model. Maybe it's hard to model because it's soft. Yeah. Yeah, it looks too short. It helped a little bit? Question mark? Hair. Hate hair. Oops. Eh. What's that weird part? Why'd that happen? Better-ish? I'm glad I didn't give her too much hair. But this part here looks a bit thin. Doesn't really look like it's supposed to. It's a bit too flat. So let's try this. Let's pull it up a bit. It's too much pulling. Yeah, y'all are wondering why, like, there aren't a whole lot of, like, hair options in Dawn of Eternity. This is why. Let's make this a bit more voluminous. Voluminous. I feel like this part got dragged up a bit accidentally. I feel like the more I mess with it, the weirder it gets. It looks a bit better. Maybe this part up here. Oh, my dog just grumbled. She wants me to stop complaining about hair. I complain about her hair all the time. She sheds so much. You gotta vacuum 3 times a week to keep up with it. Little hair factory. Yeah, you. Time for another hair blob. This is taking forever too. Oops. Is that a bit too long? Oops. I think it's getting a little bit easier as I go on and kind of, you know, get more of a feel for what I'm doing, but it's still a bit of a pain. Yeah, making hair so that it doesn't look like weird deflated lumps is hard. Oops. Why does that part look so weird? What did I do to it? It doesn't look terrible like when you put it all together. Looks like it's like sticking out a bit too far though. Oh, and I still need to make it look like, you know, it's rounded at the end. Oops. So it's looking slightly less weird, possibly. Let's push it in a bit. Him. Him. It starts looking like, you know, slightly better the more hair clumps I had. But yeah. Her hairline is kind of like slowly going this way. Let's try to correct that a little bit. Why didn't I just use the rotation tool? Now it's all like askew. Alright, now how do I want to tack this on? I'll just make the ones at the back shorter, I guess. Oops, that is like not touching her head hardly at all. There we go, that's better. Didn't want her to have floating hair. Yeah. It's hard to make this interesting too. Like, what do I say about making hair blobs? Like, weird hair tentacles. They do look kind of tentacle-y, don't they? It looks a bit like it's like plastered to the back of her head, but you know. Yeah, that seam looks a bit weird. Moon Quartz was just cube. Not mad you find it charming. Well, his design was pretty cube-ish, if I remember correctly. He had kind of like cube-shaped chin and cube-shaped fluff. Do I even have room to add like another hair thing? Oof, that looks weird. I should shrink this one a little bit. Kind of shove it under here. It's a bit too far that way too. We love cube OCs in this house, yeah. The head, yes, the floof not so much. Didn't have the plush reference, yeah. Yawn. I'm tired today for some reason. Alright, let's try to add another hair tuft. This one more should be good, probably. A lot of your robot OCs get cute round forms. Cute round robots are the best. There we go. How do I want this to look? Hello, Watersaurus. Welcome back. Just in time to watch me struggle with hair. How do I make this last little hair nubbin? It's looking cool so far. Thanks. I'm glad. I can't tell. Maybe if I angle it this way a bit more. Round this part out a bit. It's looking a bit pointy. And how do I want to end this? Do I just kind of like make it curl around a bit here? I mean, that doesn't look terrible. It's a look. This part kind of looks a bit odd because of how long it is compared to the other pieces, but... I should make this one right here a little bit longer to kind of even it out a bit. And maybe also this one. And might as well drag this one down a bit too. Oops. I mean, the way that I animate this and like GIF it, you're probably not even gonna see this part of the head all that much. So. That doesn't look super terrible. And the head still looks a bit too square. I think it might be this part right here. It doesn't come out enough. Actually, maybe it should come this way a little bit more, the hairline. Yeah. And maybe also be a little bit thicker. This part looks weird. It's like whenever I adjust one thing, like it throws like 5 other things out of whack. There we go. Or maybe not. Okay, that part looks a little weird down there. Okay, maybe now it's good? fix her receding hairline. I think that's a bit better. Still don't know if it looks good. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it good, but, you know, it exists. You know, it's hair, it's on her head. She's not bald anymore. Reminds you of how MLP fans model hair, yeah. It's simple and stylized, so makes sense. I mean, granted, that show is like, you know, super simplified vectors and... You know, like, this is her, you know, reference art that I drew of her that I'm referencing, so... You know. Huh. So I'm trying to make it look like the reference, and I did, like, you know, like I said, make it simplified on the reference to try and make it easier to model. Yeah, I tried to just make her bald, but it didn't look right, unfortunately. Actually, I think her head might be a bit too thick. Like, too wide. Is her neck too short? Looking on the ref, it looked like it was a tad longer. Well, I'm not sure, actually. Because her neck does look kind of long on here, too, you know? Though now that I look at it, I think her head might be a bit small, so maybe that's what's making it look weird. And if I change how big her head is, I'm gonna have to change where her hair is positioned. It's not horse long, though. No, it's not. Yeah, it looks better. I've got to readjust her hair. I accidentally made the top of her neck real wide now. Again, it's like you adjust one thing and 5 other things kind of fall out of place. There we go, I think that looks a bit more proportional. Alright, now to add our little ear tufts. Actually, I can add those on the symmetrical section, because they are symmetrical. You know, nothing about G5 aside from Discord being sad over Fluttershy and it having a Roblox game and also a game on Steam. I don't really know a whole lot about G4 or G5 either. The toys are ugly, therefore I don't care about it. There we go, just need a little hair tuft. That's it. Nothing complicated. The toys feel better than 3D models? I think the 3D models actually look a bit better than the toys. The toys are just like, the eyes are flat and they're too close together and they just look really weird. I also don't like the eyebrows. The eyebrows is a weird choice and I don't like them. Man, it's a bit thick. Oh, you never looked at the toys too close until now? Yeah. I've always kind of primarily been a toy collector, so... At least when it comes to MLP. I haven't actually seen the dragon design. But it's gross. Alright, time for the tail ploof. His name is Sparky. I think that was a name of one of the G1 dragons, too. Sounds familiar, at least. Oops, that should be 0, not 1. Nope. I think Sparky was like the red one. G1 had like a whole bunch of little baby dragons. Looks more like the unnamed G2 dragon. Oh. We got a really human space. I assume you mean like face. A weirdly human face. That sounds really gross then. A very uncanny valley. Squish. Hardly any snoot. The face is so flat. It's like a dragon pug. Yeah, it sounds like a dragon pug. Maybe that would look better if I turned it sideways. Shouldn't be that thick though. It's a bit too thick. There we go. Alright, I think it's done. At least the main texture, body, and also something about the face still looks odd to me, but I can't figure out what. Do y'all see anything like glaringly obvious that needs to be like fixed or addressed? Pull the ref again. Here. Kinda like put it beside her. I'm not too concerned about being at, like, you know, her exact one-to-one proportions, but as long as it's, like, you know, recognizably that character, I'm okay. Snoot is a tad, or the horn is a tad small. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Because I made her head bigger, but I didn't make her horn bigger. There we go. Now I forgot to delete the other side of the horn. It's a good thing I did though, because that makes it easier to resize. But I think it's good now. Bald. There's still like a thing from the cube that I deleted and then never did anything with. Alright, I think we can move on to UV mapping. My dog just like grumbled, yawned loudly. I don't know if the mic picked that up. Jade. You creaky old lady. Let's hide the body to get a better look at the inside of the hair. The weird hair tentacles. Yay. Alright. The tail kind of made this a weird, awkward shape to deal with. Looks like it's sticking straight up like a kitten. Yeah. You lose your mind over how tiny the heads get. Yeah, I always have to like kind of blow them up a little bit. Otherwise the eyes and face features would be very tiny and pixelated. Might be a bit too big. It should probably be good. Probably, yeah. Move you over here, move you over here. I just don't want any harsh shadows when making it. Let's hide this one on the camera so the hair doesn't render and cast a weird shadow, because especially since the hair is only over one side of the model, it'd turn out real glitchy if I baked it like that. Alright, now it's gonna get all like glitchy sounding when I bake this because my computer does not like me baking textures and doing anything at the same time, so the music's probably gonna start skipping when I'm baking this. Alright, so baking. Oh, why is it taking so long? Why is it at 0%? How y'all been doing? I've been doing good. Textures take so long to bake. There we go. Let's move the ears back into place. Delete the lamp. Goodbye, lamp. There we go. Yep, alright. Baked okay. Alright, now for the hair. Let's see here. I think that's good. Right, now we hide that one, and might as well just leave it like it is. Subdivide. Alright, time for more glitchy skipping music, and actually I don't know how if it like affects my mic at all, like if it makes my voice like skip. Nope, baking more. My voices seem fine for these past streams. I don't think I've tried not to talk while it's baking my textures. So it might be skipping a whole lot right now, but I'd have no clue. There we go. I just realized I hid the camera, not the cube, so it's still baked with like the shadows on the underneath. And with the shadow right there. It wasn't skipping? That's surprising. Well, good, because I'm gonna have to bake it again, because I accidentally made the settings wrong. Okay. That's pretty normal for me, though. I usually, like, mess up something with the shading the first couple times I bake a texture. Oops, I left this part sitting here and it casts a big ol' shadow right there. That's weird, though, that the music, like, the YouTube video skips when I'm making textures, but my voice does not. That is bizarre. Yeah, like, see, it skipped right there. There we go. That looks better. Don't want any real harsh shadows. Okay, time for working on textures. Oops, I haven't saved this entire time. That could have been bad. feel like it's usually at the texture point when I finally remember to save, because when I go to export the PNG it doesn't have, or go to export the UV map, it doesn't have a name. Come on, Photoshop. My things are just full of textures. That is basically invisible. It's a little better. It's real hard getting shading to show up on white. Time for her little lacy leggings. Where is my tablet pen? Tablet pen, where are you? There it is. I hope my headphone cord doesn't like smack into my mic. It is like dangerously close to it. Time for ASMR scribble time. My mic isn't as close to my tablet, but you can probably still hear it. Oops. Scribble noises. Might be a bit dark compared to the actual. Maybe I'll move this like underneath. We'll see. I'll keep messing with it. Why does it keep doing that? Every once in a while, Photoshop just decides, nah, I'm not gonna let you actually use the brush. You've got to click out and then click back in, then you can use the brush. Oops, Grable. Jade, what are you grumbling about? Let's see if all the markings ended up in the right spots. Actually, why don't I go ahead and try to map out the eyes while I'm at it. Trying to draw the eyes, like, kind of sideways is a little difficult. Can't rotate the canvas. I can, but I, like, never do. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel, like, super intuitive to me, like, to use. So instead I just, like, struggle and, like, you know, lean my head sideways and do all that instead. I don't know why. My brain has decided that this is the best course of action, instead of, you know, rotating the canvas. See, like, what shape are her eyes? I'm staring at it right now, but I'm just like, what shape are they? Suddenly I've never drawn eyes in my entire life. Yeah, that looks bad. Scrap that. Screw it. There we go, that's about how her eyes are shaped. Alright. Smooth this out a little bit. What the heck is my eraser? Why does it feel so weird? Oh, that's why. Ew. That's a bit better. No wonder my eraser felt so like weird and chunky. Oops. Yeah, I suck at making like smooth line art, so anytime I have to, you know, try to make something look smooth, it always takes like, you know, 50 passes of me smoothing everything out. a little too much off of her eyelash. Oh, nice and dainty. Alright, let's see how off I was with my eye placement. Okay, I think they were a bit big. Alright, they're a bit big, they're a bit too far tilted forward. Okay. MLP eyes would be like, yeah. Alright, let's shrink those a little bit. Okay, let's try that. Oh, and also see how the this could go a little bit higher. That looks fine. This could be cut off like right here. Oh, my dog is whining. I swear, like, every single stream I've done, once I got to the texturing portion, she always starts whining to go outside. Like, this has happened the past 3 streams that I've done. Well, including this one, because this is my only 3rd stream ever, but yeah. So, BRB. Walking dog. I'll be right back. You guys behave. I have returned. Dog has been walked. Thankfully, she's pretty quick. Alright. So just kind of like chop that part off. It's weird because like it looks like it'd be like circly on the texture, but then when you actually put it on the model, it looks like weird and weird. Let's see if I can manage to line this up. And if I don't, it's not a huge deal, because this model isn't really for anything, so it can have a wonky seam or two. It's still a bit big. This part looks fine though now. I actually lined that up pretty okay. Don't know why it has that weird, like, kind of like peak in it, but besides that, yeah, so the eyes need to be a little bit smaller, maybe a little closer together. And still tilted too far, like that way. Alright, oops. Didn't mean to do that. Shoop. Alright, let's try this. That might actually be too small. Her eyes are kind of big. See, like, yeah. Maybe I need to put them down a bit lower then. If they are going to be that big, they need to be down a little bit lower. Yeah, there we go. That looks about right. Let's color in her eyeballs. And got a set of eyeballs. I think I'll make her eyelashes this color too. It's actually a bit too light for this texture at least. There we go. Actually, I think one of her top eyelashes is a bit too small. It got chopped off a bit too much. Thicken them up a little bit. Not quite luxurious enough. Jade, you've been awful grumbly today. Had just about enough of your old lady grumbles. I'm kidding, Jade. I love your grumbles. Alright, yeah, looks good. Maybe this line here is a bit thick. A little too much eyeliner right there. Let's add the lacy details. I've added this kind of like lace marking on so many of my characters, and I will continue to do so because I like it. I think it looks cute. Alright, I made those like the same size, right? Okay, yeah. Yes, YouTube, I'm still here. Actually, was this part thick enough on the model? Might have been too thin. No, it looks about the right size. You vote with swirls? Swirls are good too. I don't blame you. Alright, now to add the... Oops, it's close to her eye, I think. Yeah, her little teardrop detail on her forehead. Probably should have made sure that the actual like shape looked okay on the model, but Put on the ears. I think that's probably high enough on the ears. Again, I should probably check this before adding the lace detail to it, like I did with the other ones, but oh well. I need to stop like putting the tablet pin down directly in front of the microphone and like probably deafening you guys. Alright, there we go. Okay, that looks fine. I mean, most of it's covered by her hair anyway, so... And these are actually a bit short. Everything else looks good. Oops, it's a bit too big. Alright, let's try this. Lace. Lacy lace. I think there might actually be a bit too much, like, whites in her eyes. Her pupil and iris need to be a little bit bigger. Yeah, it looks better. She looks a little too, like, shocked. Alright, let's add a little... Actually, I have a brush that I use for stitches on my, like, plushes that I make for Second Life. So I could just use that here. And it's a bit thin. Actually, I might just draw them by hand. Well, no, because that might look a little bit odd. Oh, that's too thick. They don't look... Viral Pack added this similar stitch brush recently. I made this one. This one's homebrew. It's a Rika original. Oops. It's a bit close, but I think it's covered up by the hair up there anyway. Oh, the only thing is I can't use this as an eraser. I'll just add white on top of it then. We'll see how those look. Yeah, it might be a bit small, or it might not. You should make a lace brush too. Oops, why'd that one turn out all wonky? Yep, come on, straight line. There we go. See, do they look too thin? They're not like super noticeable. looks okay? Question mark? Yeah, I think it's fine. I'm gonna stick her horn on, or color her horn, and then stick on her nose. Here's her horn. Actually, might as well color her little hair tufts on your ears, too. Alright, time for the snoot. Alright, and check the snoot position. Yep, that looks fine. Snoot is goodly positioned. The little nose is usually a lot easier to get the positioning right than the eyeballs. Right, time to shade the snoot. That turned out a bit dark. Drop shadow. Make it look a little more three-dimensional. Oops, I didn't mean to clear the layer style, I wanted to copy it. So I can stick it on the eyeballs too. Or not the eyeballs themselves, just the eyelashes. And might as well add an inner shadow too, because those are some pretty big eyelashes. It'll be at least a little bit noticeable. Yep, looks good. Now the legs have some stripies on them. It shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, I'll put them on this leg with the stitches. Drawing a straight line, my greatest weakness. Come on. This might be too thick. Turn the flow down, or turn the flow up, rather. Okay. Straight lines, my greatest nemesis. Come on. There we go. Watch, they'll look like totally off when I'm actually get them on the texture. And those are too close together. That's too far down. Ah! They might just be too thick. Why did I give this character... Can't you shift left click? I can, but it's like, you know, it's at an angle. So, it just ends up like this. I mean, I guess I could like rotate it, but... I mean, that's just too much work. I'd rather just... Like, my brain decides like the weirdest things are too much work. Yeah, okay, fine. That might not even end up looking good on the texture. It might end up looking like weird and warped because of the way the UV map is. Click then shift click. Is that a thing? You can do diagonal lines like that in Fire Alpaca. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. That's also a very real possibility. Yeah, those look funky. Those look real warped down near the bottom. I'll have to move those up a little bit. These look mostly okay, but these are a bit warped. I'll just nudge them up a bit. It's weird that it looks like there's so much space in between them, like there, but they're this close together. I just realized I forgot to color in her hooves. There we go, it looks better. I should probably give her a mouth. I mean, she doesn't have one on my reference, but I mean, I assume that she does indeed possess a mouth. Oops. That was Discord, that's not Photoshop. I could just put it on the same layer as the horn. What layer was that again? Time for the hoofies. Now, is it there or is it one line up? Where does the hoof end? Okay, it is there. Oops. Oh, I'm hiding random layers now. There we go, wanted that hit. There we go. Hoofies have been colored in. Her hair is still textureless. Texture looks like a sheep. It does look very sheep-like, kind of. Somehow. Yeah, I'm getting to her hair, don't worry. She looks very huggable. She would allow you to hug her. She is nice. And what was I gonna do next? I've completely forgotten where I... Oh, right. Like the hoof line shadow thing. I think it's about right here. Should be about the center of her little hoof. I should probably shade that a little bit more. Yeah, I should probably check to make sure the position's actually right before I'm going through all the trouble to shade it. Spend all this time shading her little hooves and it's in the wrong spot. Wait, did I already literally just save it as a PNG? My mind was on like autopilot. I didn't actually know what I was doing. Okay, good. Those are in the right spot. Alright. And I just tried drawing with the back end of my art tablet, or my tablet pen. That did not work out very well. What tablet do you have? I have Wacom 1, I think it's called. One of my friends gave it to me because she had bought a brand new like Cintiq, so she's like, "Here, you can have my old one." Because before this, I was using like this teeny tiny Wacom Bamboo that I'd had for over 10 years. Like, I'd been using it back in high school. Yeah, it looks good. I might want to put a little bit of a drop shadow on the hooves. It'll show up on the horn too, but yeah, it's not really visible in the texture, so. You still have your bamboo as backup? Yeah, same. I have a Huion now. Nice. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it sounds nice. Did I just like save it twice again? Alright. Yep, puppies look good. Alright, now she's got some little like kind of swirl details right here. So like right about here, I think they'd kind of show up. I might just do this. Huions are cheap but pretty good. Oh, nice. That's weird. About 500 for a 16-inch display. That's not too bad at all. Why is this not showing up? Huh. Do I have something selected or something? Oh, it's like the flow is at so low, it's just not... There we go. And it might not be the best method because of how light this color is. Even the like overlay doesn't really show up on it. The back leggy. My playlist reached its end again. My music tastes are a little bit weird, so... I mean, I've tried to put together, like, a playlist that, you know, has as normal music on it as possible, but I've also got to try to get music on it that won't get, like, copyright claimed or get me DMCA striked, so it's mostly, like, video game music and Vocaloid. Alright, let's see if those are in the right spots. There are also some fun royalty-free tracks. Yeah. Yeah, like some of the stuff that I found for Dawn of Eternity isn't too bad. Oof, those turned out a bit big. This part might be a little hard to texture because of how, like, kind of warped it ends up being. Alright, so... that ended up a bit too far back. Let's try this. At least this one was in the right spot. Alright, let's see how that works. Those look a bit too far down. Alright, so they need to be a little bit longer. Once again, try drawing with the butt end of my tablet pen. Now why is it being weird? Deselect. There we go. Alright, let's see how that went. Yeah, I have a feeling this part's gonna be a little hard to get real right. I didn't put it on her other... Yep, I did, so it's on both sides. Man, but there's a seam right there. How am I gonna do that? Maybe I'll just pretend that it's only on the outsides, you know. It doesn't have to be, you know, 100% accurate to the character. If this were a commission, I'd try a little bit harder, but, you know, it's just for me, and I don't care. It still looks a little bit big. Oh well, I'm tired of messing with that. I think I'm gonna give her a little tiny mouth. Oh, hi, Jade. That's a lot of layers. Yes, it is. And believe it or not, this is like one of the less layer heavy things that I've made. There we go. Just give her like a little tiny frown. I think I made a model with like, the texture was like super complex. It was a commission, and it had like 50 layers by the time I was done with it. It's just kind of, you know, neutral expression. A neutral frown. There we go. Yep. Dear God, yeah. Yeah, that commission took a very long time because of the texture. And the model itself was pretty complex too. Alright, now we can get to the hair. No, you don't think you've ever hit 20, much less 50. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell it not to subdivide the UV map. Oh no, wait. Yeah. Oh well. You hit the layer limit on Fire Alpaca? That's impressive. You like to compress and organize your layer usage. I usually just like, if it's a different color, it gets a new layer. Oh, what, Jade? What's the matter? What's the matter? You want attention, huh? I'm supposed to stop what I'm doing and take the time to pet you? Is that the expectation here? Yes, I see you. I see you. I'm being held hostage by my dog. Oh, alright. She's had enough pets. Okay, now I can continue. Hair. There we go. Yeah, I usually have a lot of layers, and to make matters worse, I never name any of them. So whenever I'm looking for like a specific layer, I have to like hide and unhide the layers to see what's on it. You know, I think I could probably just like make this the solid purple color and then be done with it. Or the tail did have like the kind of little curly Q on it too. And the tail didn't really get a whole lot of shading on it. Name them, but sometimes leave typos. I always leave typos. If I like, the only times I name my layers is if it's like for something. If like somebody's actually going to like see the PSD file, or if it's a gigantic PSD file that actually needs to be organized, like then I'm gonna go back and use it like a base or something. So then I usually name the layers, but they usually get typos. I can't tell you how many different ways I've like misspelled the word highlights. Alright, there we go. Add the little tail curly Q. Curly Qs, I guess, because there's two sides. Is that still subdivided? It is, I never took that off. Go away. You always manage to spell black and white wrong? Yeah. Alright, there we go. I still need to do that part though. Alright, where are those bits located? And shine. No. You spell shine wrong too. I spell a lot of things wrong, so don't worry. Alright, that's gonna be a bit tricky. That's how that is. What was I thinking unwrapping it like this? And I make the texture unwrap like weird and distorted, and I have to deal with the consequences of doing that. Alright, let's see. She did actually have a curl in her tail there, right? Yeah, okay, she did. Oh, it's actually a pretty big curl too, so it's okay if I make it a bit bigger. I think I used the brush size a bit too thin for that. Jade, why are you whining? What? Why are you making such pathetic noises, huh? It's because I'm the only one home right now and she doesn't like that. Nobody is allowed to leave for extended periods of time. Heaven forbid I leave. how's that? Eh. Could be better. Make sure it's positioned right first before I clean it up a bit more. It's a bit too low. Alright, how's it? The texturing process, making tiny adjustments, refreshing the texture, make more tiny adjustments, refresh the texture. Alright, perfect. Might have been a bit too dark. Just trying to soften up the edges a little bit. Give it a bit more shading so it doesn't just look like a stark little curly Q. Oops, didn't mean to make a group. I wanted a layer, not a group. Oops, that's the eraser. Can't draw with the eraser. Oops. Let's add a bit of highlightiness. Something very, very subtle. Like barely there subtle. Hi. Hi, Jade. What do you want? Do you know what you want? Huh? Yeah, it looks fine. Right, now it's just reflect it, so it's... What? What? Why are you whining? What? I don't know if you guys can hear her making, like, the most pathetic noises ever. We need a pet cam. Yeah. I should set that up. Because she does, like, kind of just sleep in the exact same place most of the time. She's very good at making extremely pathetic noises. It's like her specialty. Yeah, there's nothing actually wrong, but you'd think she was, like, dying. Alright. I think the model is pretty much done. Unless you guys can think of something that I missed. Gonna rig on stream? Might as well. I did want to make a little animation for it. I've discovered that it's probably not a good idea for me to animate on stream, because I just, like, I concentrate so hard when I'm doing it that I don't think I could, like, talk. Like, it's hard enough for me to talk when I'm just, like, modeling, but, like, I always, like, totally zone out when I'm animating, so, yeah. I also don't know if it'd be all that interesting to watch. It's like, you know how I just kind of go back and forth making super tiny adjustments on the model sometimes, and it's just like barely anything has changed? I feel like that's a lot of animating, what animating is too. Like, I just like watch the animation back like 50 times and just change like one tiny thing, and then watch the animation again like 50 times and then change another tiny thing. That stream's actually gone a bit longer than most of my other ones. I think before I usually ended them because I got hungry, but I ate lunch a bit later, and I eat a bit of a bigger lunch, so I can stream a bit longer. Goodness, that was a pathetic noise. That might have been too distant for the mic to pick up, but... Nobody but me is home. It's terrible. She is so lonely. Clearly. You heard? She acts like I'm not here. It's like, am I not good enough for you? Needy doggies can relate, oh yeah. Let's see, where do I want that joint to go? The leg stripes aren't lined up. Oh no, they aren't. Oh well, I don't care. Oh, that is kind of noticeable though. Maybe I'll go back and fix it later. Yeah, that is kind of really noticeable. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to actually use that joint, but it's there. And I feel like dealing with it right now. Getting seams to line up like that is just such an absolute pain. I'll deal with it off stream so you guys don't have to watch. It's not like they're close enough to fudge it's kind of lined up, it's just full on not lined up. Yeah, it is. It's like, these two looked okay, but this one's like, that's pushing it, and this one's like, that's not lined up at all. Especially, oh, the back ones are real bad. I forgot to give her a tail. Goodness, Jade! Look, I promise it's not that bad. They'll get home eventually, I swear. They're not gone forever. She is very dramatic too. Responds so dramatically to like every situation. Actually, first, I'm gonna give this one its own material and join them. Just easier to do that. Alright. Time for weight painting, yay! I'm amazed it actually rigged the horn right. Didn't rig the hair right, but it rigged the horn. Oh god, rigging the hair is gonna be the pain. Alright. And should I just go ahead and rig that whole thing to the head? Probably. That whole hank. Then probably this whole hank to the head too. Oh, it actually didn't try rigging the hair to the, or the ear to the head this time. Yep. Yeah. Why? Goodness gracious, Jade! You know, the weird thing is, though, that usually she starts whining about, like, 20 or 40 minutes before they get back. So I know that they're probably going to be back soon. Which is kind of creepy, when you think about it. Like, how does she know? But it's like, without fail, whenever she starts whining, it's like a timer starts, and they get here in about, like, 30, 40 minutes. You know, I should probably actually give the hair its own bones, now that I'm thinking about it. That would make it a bit easier to animate. But do I really want to animate the bones and the hair? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna give hair bones. If you're wondering about that, yeah. See, usually I don't, like, model characters with hair long enough that it needs bones, so I don't really think that much about it. Let's see. Where's a good point to have it? I remember I was making a skeleton for something. I don't remember what it was. But my dad had like walked into my room while I was working on it, and he just like points at it, goes, "That doesn't have bones there." I'm like, it's not like an actual skeleton, it's just what I need to move. Like, I think I was putting like bones in the ears or something. It's like, yeah, I know there aren't bones present in your ears. Like in a dog's ears, but I need them to be able to move. I think these two are probably the only ones that really need bones in them. Alright, there we go. Gotta re-rig parts of it, but that's okay. I didn't get too far in the weight painting anyway. Oh, hi, Jade. Whining at me isn't going to make them come back faster. Like, what do you expect me to do? I can't just make them, like, teleport back here faster. I don't have that kind of power, I'm sorry. I want to rig, like, the tops of the hairs, like, where there's no bone to the head. And also just this one entirely to the head. Oh, what? Have you given up? Huh? They'll be back eventually. They're not gone forever, I promise. Jade has resigned herself to just sit beside me and occasionally sigh dramatically. And whine sadly. I'm not sure what you want me to do. Like, I know it's dinner time and my dad's girlfriend isn't here to, like, give you pieces of whatever it is that she's having for dinner. Sad Papu, yes. Very dramatic Papu. Alright, that's all good. Sweet. almost got dragged away with that. Yeah. That's how I check to see if like stuff, anything like is accidentally attached to the ear. I just drag it and like make it go pew. Any kind of like detachable part, I just go, you know, pew. All right, is anything stuck to it? Actually, I should probably do that to the hair to make sure it's not hanging onto the scalp. Yeah, it looks like that one's got a bit of scalp stuck to it. Can't even see it underneath the hair there. Alright. That might not end up bending all that well. Probably should have put some more. Goodness, she is still whining. She might just end up whining for the entire rest of the stream. I hope not. Oh my gosh. And like, once they get back, she's not gonna want them to actually do anything. Like, she doesn't want them to, like, pet her or anything like that. She just wants them to be here. Or she could teleport to your house just to pet the sad dog. Yeah. The thing is, she probably wouldn't even want to be pet. She is just, like, upset that people are not here. They are somewhere that is not here. And that is unacceptable.